Morning.
Morning.
Morning, Paul.
Morning.
How are you today?
Oh, I'm very, very well.
Oh, stop touching me in an inappropriate manner, Paul.
I'm pressing his buttons.
My buttons don't need pressing.
We're celebrating, aren't we? We're celebrating.
Are we?
Yeah.
What are we celebrating?
28 years together yesterday.
And that's cause for a celebration? Really, Paul?
Oh.
No. How wonderful.
Did you get me a present?
I didn't even know it was our anniversary, Paul, so no, I don't think so. Anyway, that's all.
Did that one get us a present?
No, they didn't know, Paul. Shush
right.
now. Enough of that. You times it by 7 and that's gay years.
I think it is, yeah. Absolutely.
So good morning and welcome to Sunday Chat.
Sunday Chat!
And this is a show you all look forward to every single week. I know we do. So, Paul, what's on the menu today?
Oh, I think we're going to have some bagels with scrambled eggs later.
No, I didn't mean that. I meant, what are we talking about today?
Things.
Lovely.
Things.
First of all, we like to talk about the weather because us British people are obsessed, completely obsessed with the weather, aren't we, Paul?
Definitely.
Lovely.
So what is it today? There's blue sky.
Bright. It's bright.
But it's really cloudy. But it's very bright.
There's some lovely big clouds, lovely big white fluffy clouds.
Was that a song?
Little fluffy clouds.
Little
is a
fluffy
song.
clouds.
I've said that before,
Right.
Paul, by the orb.
Oh yes, of course.
Yes, indeed.
Can you see the blue up there? And
I can
up
see
there?
the patch of blue and I can see voluminous clouds. Voluminous.
There's a patch that looks like Australia just up there. So that must be our Australian viewers.
Lovely.
Hi Jay.
Lovely. So, what? Who?
Jay, Hilltop Farm.
Oh yeah, Hilltop Farm. Hi Jay. Yeah.
And obviously
And
others.
others.
Yeah.
So Paul, what's the weather been like this week? It's been changeable. I'm just trying to remember, trying to recall the week. Monday, Tuesday was fine in the afternoons because I actually did some gardening. Didn't I, Paul?
That was
Yes,
later in the
did.
week.
No, Monday, Tuesday evenings.
Was it?
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
I don't remember
After
that.
work. Yeah, straight out there in the garden till it went dark.
Wow.
Do you not remember? You were cooking and I was looking at you
cooking?
through the window.
Were you waving at me?
Waving. Help.
I did see you doing an awful lot of cutting. Oh, no, that's right. You were taking up all the palm leaves, weren't you?
Yes.
You were taking up all the palm leaves,
These
yeah.
bloody palm trees.
They're cabbage
oh.
palms. They are huge
I
now.
would never, if I knew the mess that those palm trees create, I would never have planted them.
Did you know that I knew the mess they create before we planted them?
Yeah, but your parents, when they had them in their garden, they had a lot of lawn. So it's kind of easy to pick up. I have to go rooting through bushes.
We haven't done that in many a year.
And going behind things and...
Haven't done that either. No.
Oh, Paul, really? So Wednesday, it was wet. It was very, very wet. So I couldn't do any gardening in the afternoon.
I did my seed sowing video, what we're sowing in March. Had a few issues with that. Anyway, so I did that in the afternoon and it was absolutely chucking it down.
Yeah, it was. And then Thursday was okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. So I carried on gardening. And that was lovely.
You've done a lot.
I enjoyed it. I put a post on Planet Vegetaria the other day to say how the mood took me. Just took me along for the ride. The energy came and I was...
Taken.
transforme. into...
Transform.
I don't know what I'm trying to say.
I don't know what you're trying to say
I've got
either.
absolutely no idea.
The movement took you, and you went out and you did an awful lot of work.
The energy came, and this happens at this time of year, doesn't it? I mean, I'm sure you'll all agree. I mean, I'm sure many of you are doing various jobs in the garden, and you have to go with that energetic moment where you're filled with the desire to achieve and actually do something. Anyway, I finished now.
But you don't like gardening, do you?
No, I don't. I hate it. And I'll tell you for why. I get backache and I get a sort of exertion headache. I get an exertion headache from bending over. I've always got it. Always had it, I mean. Not all the time. When I'm bending over after about half an hour, I think, oh, my poor head. But you know what I did? I worked through those feelings.
Oh.
I worked through those physical sensations, and I got through it. I made the effort, and I think that's the difference. Because everything is saying to me at that moment, you can't do this, you're not strong enough, you don't have the resilience, you don't have the strength, you need to build up slowly. Go back in and have a rest. That's what it's saying to me. But I thought, no, Richard, don't go in for a quick sneaky rice cake and a cup of tea. No, just push through it and bloody well do it. And I did.
So whilst you were picking up a few palm leaves, I was forking over 12 square metres of unkempt ground, which took me 9 hours in total because I had to fork it over twice and take out lots of weeds and lots of plastic, and then I had that oil drum. And did I ache afterwards? No, not at all. I didn't ache at all.
Paul, I didn't think it was a comparison contest. Things are relative. La relativité. Things are relative. I don't go out in the garden because very often, Paul, I'm doing the housework.
Housework. You do all the sucking and vacuuming and things with feather dusters and
you're painting.
And then the other day you did the shower room, and I thought you were having a shower, but you were actually cleaning it, and you do the bathroom and you do the washing. And then you hang out the washing, and then you fold it up and you put it away. And actually, our work is pretty balanced in the house, isn't it? After 28 years together.
It's called division of labour.
It is division of labour. And then I go down to the plot to get away from it all. Yeah.
Paul, you've finished insulting me now. That's fine, we'll move on, shall we? Thank you.
What's next?
What's new this week? What's in the news? What's been happening in the world? How are we all coping? How are you coping? Comment below.
How have you been coping this week?
Okay.
It's been a funny February. It's been a really funny February, I think. And it's sort of followed a bit into March, but I think now that it's warming up that little bit, isn't it? In the UK at least. And I'm really looking forward to those more days of sunshine and warmth and beginning to feel a bit spring-like. And of course, on Monday, we have the start of meteorological spring.
Meteorological?
Yeah, I have to say it like that or else I get it wrong.
Meteorological.
Meteorological. Yeah, I can't go. My tongue doesn't get round that. Oh, but that's the 1st of March. But then they say spring traditionally starts about the 20th.
Well, isn't it in line with the equinox?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's equal days and night. Equinox.
Yeah.
By nature.
It is.
Equinox.
It is equal days, isn't it?
Equinox by nature. It sounds like a fragrance, doesn't it?
It sounds like a shampoo.
Market it, sell it.
Yeah.
Do that.
Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to warmer days and getting growing, and of course things are starting to come up. The spring bulbs are starting to open. I had some lungwort that came out this month or this week, and it's such a pretty plant. It really is, and it's a
Doesn't
wild
sound
flower.
pretty, does it?
Well, it's sort of, because lungs are sort of spotted, and it's called lungwort because it's got a spotted leaf, but it has the most dainty sort of cerise flower. It's so cute, and of course it's fantastic for bees at this time of year. So I was really pleased to see that. And we had one self-seeded crocus that I moved from one bed to our flower border bed, and it just burst into flower for 5 days. It was lovely.
I'm looking forward to that. What's that one we've got in the front garden that I introduced a few years ago using seed stolen from another garden?
What, the ragged robin?
No, what's it called?
The red one.
What's it called? It begins with a V.
Verbena.
No.
No. It's ridiculous.
What's it called? I've forgotten what it's called. It's a herb. It's a herb that is used for... No.
I've forgotten.
I can't remember what it's called.
But it's the red one.
That
isn't
is
it?
ridiculous.
It's the red one. The red flower.
It's beautiful. It flowers from spring all the way through to summer, and it spreads really easily.
Are we going to get through to what colour it is?
It's pink.
It's pink.
It's pink.
It's pink.
It's a lovely pink. And there are white ones as well. Vervain? Not vervain.
Valerian.
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 Thank you.
Valerian.
Thank goodness for
Honestly.
that. My brain. Anyway, so that's all lovely and nice.
And sedums. We've got sedums out there. Oh, the sedums. They're just beginning to really start their growth now.
Back to news this week.
Oh, yeah.
That's what we were talking about, I think you'll find. So, in news this week... A new store has opened in our hometown of Ealing, the first store of its kind in the UK. Amazon's till-less stall. That means it's got no tills.
No.
You use an app to get in, you walk around, take whatever you want and just walk out.
And it bills you.
Well, yeah, because things aren't free.
No, exactly. But they do have people working there, obviously. Yeah.
You finished?
Yeah.
Thanks. So, using tracking technology, the store tracks every movement and everything you pick up, and then bills you as you walk out. What do you think about that? Should we be reverting to shops with no people and just robots? Do you think it's a good idea? Leave your comments below.
What do
I'm
you think?
encouraging interaction, Paul.
What do you think?
I'm in two minds because there should be people being given jobs for a start, and there are some people in there stacking the shelves.
And they've got returns and customer
But you
service
see,
and things like that, don't
I
they?
think, well, generally, I think customer service in a lot of stores is absolutely shite. And people don't know how to deal with other people. And people sit there with a grumpy look on their face, expecting me to interact with them in a pleasant way when I'm really not inspired to do so. Yeah? So that's one aspect. So for me, going into a shop where I don't have to interact with anybody at all, I can just pick things off the shelf and walk out, I think hurrah. But I want people to be employed. I want local people to be employed. Yeah?
Yeah.
And local people won't be employed within logistics, will
No,
they?
not many. I mean, there'll be maybe more van drivers and things like that. But I don't really know. I mean, I think it's a great idea and I think it's the way of the future. But if we're going to go down that route where there's fewer and fewer jobs because there's more and more mechanisation, we need to be able to tax these companies in a way to be able to provide an annual mean salary to everybody. Because at the end of the day, if everything becomes so mechanised, people don't have jobs, then they're going to need a way of being supported, and I think that's where the sort of social annual salary comes in.
It's different jobs, isn't it? These kind of industries create different types of jobs that aren't necessarily suitable for the average Joe on the street, like me. I mean, I don't know how to build a drone. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like Amazon were going to do that drone delivery thing at one point.
Yeah, they were.
So you need more drones, you need more technology. You'd have to retrain.
Well, I mean, that's the whole point, isn't it? But
I don't want to retrain at 53 years of age.
No, but I think increasingly more people are being forced to retrain.
Yes.
Especially in the situation that we're in and the job changes that we're going to have when we come out of the pandemic. There's going to be a requirement to retrain, and
there is.
There we are. I'm not going to get into politics, but there we are.
It's an issue. It's worth talking about, and we just have. Okay, lovely. Other news this week: a black fox has been spotted in an Ealing Street.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't Ealing. It was Isleworth.
Oh, was it Isleworth?
Yes,
I was told it was Southall.
No.
Oh, well, that's southwest London.
Well, it's just
not
up
West
the road.
London.
Well, southwest, west. Oh, pretty much the same.
I know, but I mean, let's get our geographical compass.
The most important
right.
point of the story was it's a black fox with
Yeah.
silver flecks.
There's quite a few black foxes being seen in our area. And if you watch A Week at the Plot, you'll see that Brush, who's Fenella's son, is quite dark in colouring. Much, much darker than his mum and his sister Felicity. And they're also cute, but on his flanks he's really quite dark. But there was one in Southall, that's why I thought it was one in Southall, that was seen about 3 weeks ago. Because it's, we saw this on BBC News, and BBC News usually takes about 3 weeks to catch up to everything else.
True.
So, there were photos. Somebody posted on a local Facebook group the black fox that they saw in Southall a few weeks ago. And apparently they're rare, but they're an increasing percentage of the fox population.
There's like a group or something that cites them. So, if you've seen a black fox, put it in the comments below.
The person did think it was a wolf at first.
Sorry.
Which is interesting because we don't have them. I think they've been reintroduced in Ireland, haven't they?
I don't think so. I think there was a talk of rewilding certain areas of maybe Scotland, with foxes, with wolves.
I think they've been reintroduced to Ireland.
Really? Are you sure about that, Paul?
Or maybe they're being rewilded into Ireland.
I'm having some coffee.
I'm sure I saw Wild in Ireland channel doing something like that a few months ago. Maybe I didn't. But, I mean, foxes, I know that some people don't like them, but, we adore them. We understand they're part of nature, and we like living with nature. So
and talking about nature, I'm enjoying my coffee.
Oh.
Lovely coffee. Bought by supporters. Who support us on our coffee page. That's coffee, Richard and Paul. All natural.
Is it all natural?
I thought that was a valid link. Coffee's a natural drink. It's a bean. It's roasted naturally.
I learnt something this week I had no idea about on Planet Vegetaria.
Oh, do share with us, Paul.
Coffee chaff.
You are?
Coffee chaff. It's the outside of the bean
Oh,
that
yeah.
comes off when it's
And?
roasted.
What do they use it for? Cheap coffee?
No, you can use it as a soil enhancer, and you can use it as mulch.
A
And
facial scrub?
I had to look it up. It doesn't have the caffeine in it, obviously, that the coffee does, because it's the outer shell. But I'd never ever heard of coffee chaff,
Well,
and
there
I'm
you
fascinated
go.
by that now.
Lovely.
And I want to contact some coffee roasters to see if we can get hold of some coffee chaff. I'd love that. I might be able to coffee chaff the fruit bears.
Anyway, let's move on, shall we now, Paul?
Mulch it with coffee chaff.
So, Paul, what have we been watching on television this week?
We finished The Stand.
Yeah, you know, I was a little bit disappointed by that, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yes. And I'll tell you for why. In the book, there's a real... I've read the book. In the book, there's a real sense of the journey that they all go on in different factions, different groups. Paul, if you continue to do that...
There's different factions, different groups.
I've lost my thread now.
They go on a journey.
They go on a
in
journey,
different
and there is
factions
a
and
real
groups.
sense of the journeys that people are taking and the real peril that they're all under. And you just get that sense of the journey. And I didn't kind of get that in this series. And they added a bit at the end.
Oh, with the indigenous people.
No, that's in the rewrite of the book.
Oh right, okay.
The new edition of the
Oh,
book.
I haven't read that bit.
But there's a couple of bits where they... I just didn't understand why they need to do that kind of thing. I know Stephen King was involved in the making of it, but there was something lacking from it. And whether it was empathy with the characters, I don't know.
Possibly.
Because I don't know. I can't pin down what it is. There was a lack of a sense of journey, and there was a lack of empathy with the characters. I think that's it. And at the end, I kind of wanted it to sort of all come together really neatly. And you've got the shock at the end in Las Vegas of what's going to happen.
Yeah.
That didn't seem to have the same impact as the book with the trash can man.
Yeah.
I won't say anything in case you've not seen it, but there is this sort of twist. And that twist, maybe it's because I knew it was coming. I don't know.
I mean, at one point, the leader of the group falls down a sort of crevasse and injures his leg. And
for all the people that have not seen it or watched it or read the book, there you go, that's what happens.
But there's no real peril around it. There's no real...
No,
you sort
I know
of
what you
feel
mean.
as though it'll all be all right in the end.
Yeah.
Which actually, I think even in the original series that we watched, there's more depth to it.
Yeah,
I mean, this
even
was
though
a
it was
high value production.
Yeah,
you know,
it was.
But it felt as though there wasn't really any depth.
But you
there.
know what I really think? I think this always happens with a Stephen King adaptation. Always. There are very few adaptations of his novels that successfully make it onto screen. You know, they're either filmed in the 80s when the effects were so corny and so rubbish that it just looks so tacky, or they throw loads of money at it but miss the mark. You know, they did the remake of Salem's Lot with Rob Lowe a few years ago, didn't they?
Yeah.
And that had the mood of the book. I mean, I've read that book a few times and I love the story. It had the mood, but it didn't have the sort of menacing aspect of the master vampire.
No.
So, you know...
But do you feel the David Soul one did?
but that was fun.
Yeah.
Because actually the Master Vampire was overhyped in that. He's not like that in the book. He's not like Nosferatu in the book. And they base that version on Nosferatu. So I don't know. I don't know why they sort of missed the mark. They missed the mark with it.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah.
The new production. Whereas the production with what's his name? Tim Curry. The production with Tim Curry in the 80s, yes, it was tacky in places, but the fact that you had Tim Curry playing Pennywise in this astoundingly scary role, which has frightened generations of children over the years, the remake, again, fell short of the mark. So I kind of don't get it.
What about The Shining?
I love the book of The Shining, and the film missed out several key moments of the book that were very frightening and relied upon this constant tension from, Jack slowly losing it over time. So I love the film and the book, but for different reasons.
I think that's of the books I've read of Stephen King, that's the best adaptation I think I've seen.
Well, there's only been one adaptation.
Of what?
The Shining.
No, of Stephen King books I have read.
Yeah.
It's the best adaptation of a Stephen King book I've seen.
Misery.
Oh yeah, Misery.
Was a good movie.
Misery, don't we?
I read the book, and actually the movie's pretty close. And of course it was quite shockingly horrific.
And I think I worked on that in the West End, didn't I?
Oh, the stage show.
I worked on the stage show, which had Cagney and Lacey one.
Tyne Daly.
No, the other one.
Sharon Gless.
Sharon Gless playing that role, and I think it was on the press night. I'm going to say it anyway because many people know about this. But the guy in it has his foot chopped off.
No, he doesn't.
He does?
No, he doesn't.
What happens?
She mallets both of his feet till they're completely
that's right.
broken.
Yeah, but they're obviously you can't
fun.
mallet somebody's feet in real life on stage every night. Maybe one night you could do that, or a matinee, but you wouldn't be able to carry on doing it. So of course what gets malleted is rubber feet. And at one point the rubber foot on the press night, it flew out into the audience. And it was just hilarious. It really was. So it turned it from,
horror into a comedy.
Oh, it was so funny. It was hilarious.
I remember that happening actually. Yeah.
Oh, Sharon Gless.
Well, she fixes the feet, doesn't she? That's the whole thing.
Yeah, she does.
That the character's
because she's a nurse, isn't she?
She's a nurse,
yeah.
so
we know what
kind
nurses
of
are like.
tortures him and then fixes him because she's his greatest #1 fan, isn't she? So anyway, we've kind of moved away from what we've watched because actually we've not watched that much.
No.
We've done our regular nightly views of Superstore, which we're rewatching. We're up to the point where we started.
I think we are, yeah. I think we've just gone beyond that point.
Which again is a laugh a minute. It really is. It's great show. We watched something that we'd forgotten.
Yeah.
What it was.
It was Monday night, and we watched it on Monday.
And we thoroughly enjoyed whatever it was.
We did. We really enjoyed it, and I thought,
just don't know what it was.
I must make a note of that. And then at that point, I realised that we'd missed our quiz night. Yeah. Because we'd been watching that.
Which was
and I said to Richard, we've missed the quiz night. So we quickly switched over to University Challenge and got none of the answers right in the last 20 minutes. And then I forgot to write down what it was, and neither of us can remember
it's
now.
Gone now.
It's
gone. That's what happens.
UK Drag Race.
UK Drag Race getting really interesting now. Yeah, this is the time in the show where we're getting towards the end, towards the finale. There's only 5 queens left. 4. Yeah, 4 queens left. And, they're all really, really vying for the crown.
Yeah.
Aren't they? So there is a little bit of tension going on between a couple of them, which actually was a little bit pathetic.
Yeah, I think Lawrence took it a little bit too far.
I think Lawrence Chaney took it a little bit too much to heart. But my favourite, I have to say, I'm still sticking with Bimini Bombulash. She's still my favourite. Although Paul, I didn't quite get her comedy. I thought it was a little bit too sophisticated for Drag Race. It was. I didn't get it. I mean, I got it, but I didn't get it.
Which Ahura's wasn't sophisticated, was it?
But Ellie Diamond's was totally daft, but hysterical. And I kind of want that kind of humour on Drag Race. I don't know about you, because the whole silliness of Drag Race anyway, it's on another planet, and I'm not particularly wanting my humour to be too political.
No.
Really. And even though what she said was funny, Bimini, I wasn't in that kind of mood, kind of space for that humour.
I did like that tagline. What did she use several times? That's not a story, that's a fact, or something.
Yeah, something like that.
I quite like that repetitiveness of that. But I've really quite taken to Ellie Diamond in the last couple of weeks, and I think it's, you hear people's stories, their life, and particularly we watched the Queens in Lockdown a couple of weeks ago, which we mentioned, and we saw some of them in lockdown because there was a gap of 7 months filming because of lockdown, and then the Queens came back into the room, apart from Veronica, because Veronica tested positive for COVID. So we'll see her in the next season, which I'm really looking forward to. But Ellie, I think, has quite, financially is quite a tight life, I think, and what the creativity and the class that she puts into her looks, knowing the lack of income there and the lack of opportunity for her just generally to do drag in her area, she's terrific, I think.
I think she's very skilled with makeup.
Absolutely.
As well. The makeup looks are flawless, detailed, colourful. It's very anime.
And there's a consciousness behind it. I mean, I think there's a consciousness behind all of them now,
What do you mean?
There's an understanding of what that is and what's behind it. And I really like that. There's depth to it.
Okay, there's depth to it. Well, yeah, I think they're all pretty good in their own way.
That's what I just said.
The weakest. Who got voted off? Tace.
Ahura.
Was it?
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
Was it Ahura? Oh yes, it was. Wasn't it? Yeah.
Yes, you were watching closely, weren't you?
I thought it should have been Tace. Sorry, Tace, if you're watching, you're not. I thought it'd been Tace should have gone. I think Tace is the weakest, especially in terms of performance.
I thought it was going to be one of those weeks where they both got through.
Well, it wasn't.
It wasn't.
So, what else? A Place in the Sun we've continued with because we are fantasising about going to A Place in the Sun.
We are. We're thinking...
At some point in the future we may have a small foreign holiday.
Yes. We might try to be a European again.
Yes.
Yeah.
That I need to get a passport, but apparently, in new news this week, you can do all your passport application online completely now. I didn't know that.
Who knew?
It used to be partial. You'd download the form from online.
Yeah.
And send, but now you can do it all online and you send your old passport.
Well, let's face it. I do think that this pandemic has brought an awful lot of technology forward.
Yeah.
And that is one thing that really should have been put in place 5 years ago.
But it's so true with so many things. So we can't do that. I'm sorry, you can't work from home.
Yeah, and
it's not possible to do this. It's not. Yes, it is. And yes, we have. So actually, yes. Hurrah for the pandemic. Opportunities.
So they're 10 years passports, aren't they? So yours would expire in 31. Mine expires in 27.
Yes, lovely.
Yours will be a different colour to mine as well.
So that's all lovely.
You should be able to choose the colour of the passport that you want, really. You know, it'd be great to have a lime green passport, wouldn't it? Pink, yes.
Or
lime
green.
Or lime green and... I've remembered! Lime green and pink. Alan Carr's design doodah.
That was it.
That's it.
That was obviously quite forgettable.
It was quite
Actually,
amusing.
no, it was quite forgettable in many ways. Because A, there wasn't enough of Alan Carr, because Alan Carr is a funny guy.
Yeah. And he was in Drag Race UK this week.
But the designers,
God.
and the judges.
Oh, the judges.
Oh my God, they might be interior design specialists, but bloody hell, they ain't got no taste.
Now, there was this woman, she was doing tropical something or other.
Oh, it was awful.
And it so hit all the tropical things that it looked like a tropical
Tiki bar.
pavement pizza, if you see what I mean. It was just vile. Absolutely vile.
Oh, it was awful.
And of course the designers, she won. She won. And the
they
designers
loved
were, we just think you're so classy and you've been able to do this and you've really understood the brief and we absolutely adore you and you're lovely and it's just wonderful.
We couldn't believe it.
And it was like, really?
Takarama.
Really? That was horrid. All that grass skirt stuff and
awful.
coconut
She'd stuck grass
bunting and
skirts on
stuff.
the walls.
I mean, you don't want that.
No, you don't
Don't
want
want that.
Thank
No.
you very much.
No. And the one that we liked, she got kicked off.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The one that actually had some taste and style.
absolutely, she got kicked
Oh.
off. Yeah.
So we won't be watching that one again.
No. I think it would be good if was it the BBC? Yeah, it's BBC. BBC.
Oh, slow down.
If you can just edit in or edit out all the design bits, so we just have the Alan Carr bit, that would be really quite good.
Slow
I'd
down.
like that.
That was relaxing, wasn't it?
I feel
See?
quite tense. Oh, we just pulled my pocket.
We're down to the bitter end of the show now. Just to say, this week we've been joined by a live studio audience in the form of our social Buble with Vivi Gregory of What Vivi Did Next and Vivi's Kitchen Garden and Vivi's Kitchen Garden Shop.
Yeah.
Paul, you didn't bring my lovely gifts that you'd bought for me from Vivi's Kitchen Garden Shop.
I didn't.
That's Vivi's Kitchen Garden Shop.
So we have an awful
We got some
lot
seed
of seed
packets.
packets. I think about 28. I think one for each year we've been together to celebrate each year in a
Gorgeous.
glorious handmade way.
Gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. But if you're looking for handmade seed packets, I'm afraid you're too late because I think they've all sold out.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Next time.
So,
will there be
lovely.
more?
Just leading up to Christmas.
Leading up to Christmas.
Leading up to Christmas, there will be more, but I think there's going to be a few more things before then.
Yes.
So keep your eye out on Vivi's Kitchen Garden Shop. So, lovely. Just wanted to say that Planet Vegetaria, that's a Facebook group. What is that? Oh, it's a zip. That's what it was.
It's on the cushion.
I thought it was some kind of, I don't know, old biscuit or something down the sofa.
It wouldn't be that old.
No, it wouldn't be. Certainly not down my sofa. What was I saying?
You were plumping the cushions madly the other day, weren't you? You were going...
Well, that's my exercise, Paul. It's cardiovascular.
I think that's what happens to me because they got really fat, and I think that
Anyway,
pumped, and I've got fat.
Planet Vegetaria, that's a Facebook group by Richard and Paul. Richard and Paul since 2017. That's contractual. We're having a lovely time at the moment on our Facebook group because I've started a new thread for March's monthly photo challenge of March. Anyway, each month we have a photo challenge. This month's subject and hashtag is my home art. That's hashtag my home art. Can I say it again? No. And it's going really, really well. It's lovely to see all these pieces of art that people have in their homes, i.e. my home art, and the stories associated with them. So if you'd like to join in with our monthly photo challenge on Planet Vegetaria, join us. There's a link below.
Bernard, who's one of our members, has this photo, and he took this photo, I think, when he was about 6. It's like he's got the first couple of photos he ever took. And I just find that astonishing. I really do. I love it. Yeah. I love it. And
the way he described the little Kodak flash.
Yeah.
I remember those little flashes, the cubes that used to turn round, didn't they? Flick round.
They did.
And then, of course, you'd throw it away.
Well, ours didn't have an auto turn. Ours, we had to turn it ourselves. I think auto turns came in a little bit later, or they were a more expensive camera than we had. Yeah.
But then you threw it away.
You did.
Can you imagine all of that stuff we used to throw away?
Glass, plastic, metal,
it's
filaments.
Actually crazy. The 70s and 80s, and maybe the 60s as well, was such a throwaway time, wasn't it? I mean, actually, it makes me go...
Yeah, we won't go there.
Yeah,
no, we're not.
To think of all of that. No. So, finally, we're at the moment in the show where I learn how to speak again. The moment in the show that you've all been waiting for. Word of the week.
What were?
What were?
What were? I love what were.
So...
What's the what were this week?
Pardon me.
Feminism.
This week's word of the week is blandishment.
Oh, is this when you...
Blandishment.
Is this when you...
or blandishment.
Sort of bejazzle something, where you embellish it. You embellish it and make it more interesting than...
Quite warm, Paul.
More interesting and glamorous than it was before.
Nearly.
Blandishment.
There is another element to it.
Oh, I don't know. An embellishment of making something ugly into something beautiful.
No.
Oh, I'm going off. I'm getting cold now. Blandishment. I know that's where we got blandings from. That's where he got the name blandings.
That's not going to help.
Embellishment of...
It's not embellishment as such. Think of a holiday brochure.
Where you elaborate on something to make it sound better than it actually is.
No, it's not about sounding better than it is. Right, I'm going to give you the thing now.
Definition.
So the definition is... flattering or pleasing statement or action used as a means of gently persuading someone to do something or buy something. So it's the way in which things are described in order to market it to someone.
You should have said like an estate agent does.
Yeah, a good example is estate agents, holiday brochure, and maybe a serving suggestion.
Oh yeah, serving suggestion. I love estate agents. You know, it's sort of like close proximity to multiple transport sources which basically means the M4 is at the end of the garden, doesn't it?
That's right, Paul.
Or there's a train station going through your garage, something like that.
So, silence. It's time.
Glorious garden, and actually, you know, there's a pink flamingo there, which makes you smile. You know.
Silence. We're going now.
Are we going?
This is the end of the show. Say goodbye. And if you want, say goodbye in the comments below.
Or bananas. I prefer bananas.
So thank you, bloody thank you.
I think we should have a banana song. I think it would be cool. Could you write a banana song? I think you could write a banana song.
I'll write something in a minute, I'll tell you.
Banana.
Thank you, bloody thank you for joining us this week. My eye is twitching now, Paul.
We're going.
Thank you. Take care. Toodle pip, toodaloo, au revoir, bienvenue, willkommen. All of the lovely words that mean goodbye and hello.
We're in
Thank
our
you.
29th romantic year now.
Good.
Isn't that lovely?
Thank you and good night.
Bye.
Bye.